up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. So, I'm saying goodbye to a very, very old friend of mine today. And, I'm talking very old friend. And this is Rift. Once upon a time, long, long ago, when MMOs were peaking, a company called Trion Worlds. One second. A game company called Trion Worlds brought out a game, turn-based game called Rift. Now, Rift was pretty special back in the day, because when I was looking to move on from World of Warcraft and got tired of the tedious amount of time it took to raid, Rift brought faster pace raiding to the MMO genre. And it was really special also because it allowed you to play multiple roles within your class. So no longer did you have to rely on one class to have as a tank, one class to have as a healer, one class to have as a support, one class to as a dominant DPS, even though balancing was an issue. I'll be getting into that. But Rift allowed the class to play multiple roles, whether it be in dungeons or raids. Some more practical than others, keep in mind. But it was very, very special in that design and what it really brought the MMO genre. Add Battlegrounds to the equation, and Rift was a force to be reckoned with in the MMO genre. The problem that Trion had throughout its development was balancing. The concept, the macro system for this game was by far one of the best in the industry at the time. Being able to set up your rotation, have very accurate parses, being able to complete content in a timely manner was all spectacular and superior in many ways in contrast to its its predecessors. So it really did mean something to play this game at one time. Now recently, Trion has filed bankruptcy, and Gamigo, and I'll be pulling up that article here, has retained ownership of Trion Incorporated's product line, including Rift. And what does that mean exactly? So Trion has now been bought out by Gamigo, which is a European company, which is fine. It's fine. Companies get bought out all the time. Okay, you filed bankruptcy, you got bought out. Okay, well, what's that mean for its community? What's that mean for the future of Rift? Well, it's kind of bleak, to be honest with you, because Gamigo, more than likely, is going to try to turn profit from their purchase, meaning they're not going to be looking at future development. Instead, what they will do is try to salvage as much profit from this as possible. Now, there is some controversy that goes along with this, because once upon a time, Rift was pay to play. Well, all of a sudden, after Storm Legion, a couple months after Storm Legion, it went free to play. Now, this was a huge issue, because unfortunately that opened up microtransactions as a form of sustaining profit to pay for development. Now, keep in mind, companies have to earn income to pay developers. Nobody works for free. Do you work for free? I don't think so. You got bills? Developers have bills. So everybody has to earn a living, and a company has to make a profit, right, to justify the investment. The problem of Rift wasn't the initial amount of money it was generating. It was sustaining the revenue for future development. And this all came back to one aspect: balancing. When you have a class-based MMO, you have to keep in this case, the souls balanced with the other classes. So if I have an AoE soul and a cleric has an AoE soul, you want to relatively keep those in close proximity to each other when you're doing testing. And Trion failed at this. So the more updates that Trion brought out, which they were really good at bringing out content, they failed in updating the class models. And as a result, you had players frustrated with countless hours and dedication put into their development of their characters being forced not to be capable of playing those characters in those roles efficiently towards endgame. And once again, I've always stressed this. If you have a class-based game, you have to take this serious. This is not something you just nonchalantly, sweep under the rug and hope that nobody pays attention what's going on. Because your end game players do, and they will. Now, as they're losing subs across the board, Trion then puts out. Let's go ahead here. I'm gonna show you something. They put out loot boxes, right? So we have loot boxes, key boxes. We have tier gear that is now purchasable, which is pay to win, because you can get up until almost the end game tier, the tier before it, to purchase it by buying the bundle packs. You can buy your gear. So unfortunately, it's no longer gives prestige to the players who are trying to earn their gear. It's saying whoever has the most money wins. And that, to me, is one of the downsides of free-to-play. If you're going to have a free-to-play model, you want to utilize fluff. Not, hey, you can cheat your way up in this game. Don't do that. As a company, that's a very bad thing, because players will just say, you know what? Why should I play? Why should I play this game? None of my efforts make a difference when somebody with the highest amount of dollar can just come in here, buy their shit. And yes, it is arguable because you have to pay for development. They have to make a profit somehow, but you just keep it to fluff. And players will pay for that, and a lot more, and make it affordable. And if you can make it affordable and, market it correctly, you can retain a profit and go forward with a free-to-play model. Free-to-play model isn't a bad concept. The problem of it is, what are you offering the players that they might want that doesn't compromise gameplay and structure? And that's what companies need to learn. So I thought it was really interesting to read on this and to do this, because such a beloved game, man. I spent countless time and hours PvEing, PvPing, doing so many things. They had every fundamental right. They have leaderboards. They have a very clear-cut progression system, capability of any class playing any role. It was phenomenal. Macro system. It was an amazing game for a turn-based game in its time. At one time, even graphically superior to World of Warcraft. So there were a lot of perks to playing Rift. Very, very large world too. Very huge world. We're not even talking about the water areas, anything like that. So there were a lot of things that Trion did well, and especially with dynamic events. When you're talking dynamic events, no other company did it better than Trion. Trion did the dynamic events better than any other company, hands down. The problem of it is, once again, just came to like not knowing when to do certain things when the player base was telling you, hey, this needs done. You don't ignore your customers. If a customer has been with you for X amount of years and they're screaming and they're crying to you, this needs to be done, and you're not doing it, well, now you got some problems there, George. So, you know, there are a lot of players still playing the game. So is the game going to die? No, it's not going to die because it was just acquisitioned by Gamigo. And so is it going to be, are they going to shut down the servers? No, they're going to friggin' squeeze out every drop of every penny they can from their purchase. Are we going to see updates for the game? Absolutely not. We're not going to see any relevant content being developed into this product anymore. So it's basically just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until you, guess what, have absolutely nothing to do. Now, will the company market this product? Well, I've never heard of Gamigo until I recently read up on this article. So I'm going to give you guys the breakdown of what the hell is going on here. And we'll let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson. I'm just saying, yo, man, let this be a lesson. So we're going to go do a display capture, and then I will kind of draw you guys attention here. Okay, so this is where I read it, and this is a really good website to go to, is MMORPG.com. They usually have all the information you want to know about MMOs, for the most part. So really, really reliable website. I've been coming here for years, and I mean years. So I really do enjoy MMORPG.com. So as you can see, Gamigo issues its official statement about the purchase of Tryon Worlds, right? So they're located in Hamburg, which is okay, you know, it's a European country, a European company. So nothing wrong with that. Throughout the acquisition of Tryon, Gamigo's management expects additional revenues over 18 million in addition. 1 to 4 million for 2019. Okay. So this is pretty big. Now, I've never heard of Gamigo. I've been in the MMO genre for a long time. Come to their website, and this is their website. Okay. So we're at the games. Ironsight. Now these are MMOs. Echo of Souls, Zula. I actually remember hearing about Zula development a long time ago. Aura Kingdom. Fiesta. Grand Fantasia. Last Chaos. I've actually heard of Last Chaos. And those are the MMOs that they have. Now you add a retired product like Rift into this, and oh my. So, but I've never heard of any of these products, man. None. Except maybe with Last Chaos. And then they have some browser games. MMORPGs. Hero and Puzzles. So, yeah. I mean, and they, you know, have bit tokens and stuff like that in their products. So, I have no idea where this is going to lead the poor player base in the future. I actually do not know. I feel somewhat like bad for the players that have to endure this. You know, this is going to be it's just sad. It's heartbreaking, to say the least. But at the same time, you don't ignore your player base. And matter of fact, you don't ignore the players who have tested for your products, who know your product inside and out, and who's going to tell you what's going to work and what isn't going to work. If the player base, who is also your consumer, but keep that in mind, the player base, who's also your consumers, are telling you what needs to happen, you don't brush them aside. And Tryon's problem was they just kept doing that. You know, you don't let the office heads take control of the product, overrun the product. If they do, nothing good comes from it. So I encourage any company who's in the MMO genre, if you want to stay afloat in a very competitive market, you have to take one golden rule into consideration at all times. What does your player base think? And where do you need to focus development? It's that simple. Nothing complex, nothing rocket science. You get an overall census, you do your research. If that, you know, entails, you know, doing surveys based on customers' experiences, you do that. You also have to reinforce marketing if you have profit margins that are acceptable to promote additional marketing. You have to reach out to the community and potential market. If you fail, then you're going to be forced in an awkward position that compromises not only your product, but your company as well. So, with that being said, I just wanted to go ahead, give you guys the final farewell to an old friend of mine, which I loved for the longest time, and that is Rift. Now, keep in mind, the game is free to play. You can try it, and it has a lot of fun moments in it. So I'm not discouraging any player from trying the product or trying to see what Gameco offers its customers. I'm just saying, in the future of this game, I don't see any future development being pushed into the product. And from a player who's played the product for a number of years, I can tell you the balance problems have always been present. So, other note for companies, class-based games, keep the balance. It's all about, life is about balance, and gaming is no exception. All right, there you guys have it. Just a quick stream and a quick note on what companies need to learn from others. So, yep. Thank you guys. Once again, Mr. Craven, Mystics MMOs. And as always, thank you. And have a nice day.